Oh, this table is right in front of our gathering space. I'm going to try to move. Oh, gosh.
Hi, Miss Janet. I noticed you were trying to lift the table. Do you need any help?
I would love some help. Thank you, Francis. Okay, if you lift that end, I'll lift this, and we can... This is a heavy table.
I agree.
Thank you. Morning, everybody. We are in week 5 of Spotting Superheroes, and thanks to Francis's help, I was able to move the heavy table away from our gathering space. You know, no matter how old you are or how big you are, a lot of times we need helpers. And today we're going to hear the story of Moses and 3 incredibly brave women who helped him when he was a baby. Moses is probably one of our strongest leaders in the Bible, but even Moses needed helpers. And this is the story of when Moses was a baby, and 3 very brave women helped him to stay alive and become one of God's great, great superheroes and leaders. So maybe you spotted right here, our edition this week says, "Be brave." And we're going to talk a little bit about the fact that no matter who you are, no matter what kind of superhero you are, you need help sometimes. So we have 2 incredible helpers today, Francis and Lawson. They are going to read the story of Moses when he was a baby. And we're going to make it really fun today. And here's your challenge. Whenever you hear the word baby, this is what you're going to do. You can cry like a baby. You can kick your feet like a baby. And but we're going to just listen in the story. Whenever you hear Lawson or Francis say the word baby, just make a wah, 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 and you'll hear us doing it here as well. So this is the story of Moses when he was a baby. Wah, wah, wah. And Francis is going to read the first half of the story. Lawson's going to read the second half of the story. And get your ears on, get your baby cry on, and here we go, the story of Moses.
Good parents will do everything they can to keep their baby safe. Our Bible lesson today is about a little baby boy baby, who was born in a very dangerous time. There was a new king in Egypt who saw the Israelites were very strong, and they were growing in numbers. The king of Egypt was afraid the Israelites were going to take over his country. So he issued a command to all of his people. Take every newborn Hebrew boy and throw them in the Nile River, but let the girls live. During this time, a woman had a baby boy, and she loved her baby very much. Very much. She hid him for 3 months. As the baby got older, she couldn't hide him any longer. So she made a basket of tall grass and covered it with tar to make it watertight. Then she put the baby in the basket and hid it in the tall grass at the edge of the river. The baby's sister stood some distance away to watch and see what would happen to him.
A little later, the king's daughter came down to the river to bathe. Suddenly, she noticed the basket in the tall grass. The princess looked in the basket and saw a baby. He was crying and she felt sorry for him. "This is one of the Hebrew babies," she said. The baby's sister asked her, "Shall I go and call a Hebrew woman to nurse the baby for you?" "Please do," she answered. So the girl went and brought the baby's own mother. The princess told the woman, "Take this baby and nurse him for me, and I will pay you." So the mother took him home. Later, when the child was old enough, the mother took the boy and gave him to the king's daughter, who adopted him as her own son. The king's daughter said to herself, "I pulled him out of the water, and so I named him Moses."
Thank you so much, Lawson and Francis, for being our readers this morning. That was really fun, and I really appreciate it. So this is a story of people who helped, 3 women who helped Moses. So let's just talk together about who they were. Francis, who was the first woman?
The first woman was his mother.
His mom. Yeah, his mom. And what did she do to help Moses?
She protected him for 3 months and hid him.
Yeah.
And then she sent him off in a watertight basket so he wouldn't drown.
She was pretty smart, wasn't she, to protect him? And Lawson, who was the second woman that protected and helped Moses?
His older sister, Miriam.
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 Yeah, Miriam. What did she do?
She guarded her brother to make sure no one hurt him, and helped the princess by getting his mother to nurse him.
Yeah, she really paid attention, didn't she? She hid in the grasses, and she watched over him to make sure he'd be safe. And then she was pretty smart as well to ask the princess to help. And how about that third person? Who was the third one, Francis?
The princess.
Yeah, what did she do?
She adopted him and made sure her father didn't kill him.
She sure did. And that was pretty brave too. So all 3 of these women were helpers, and they were brave. And so I just want to talk to you about, we've been talking about superheroes and what makes a superhero. We've talked about having a huge heart. We've talked about being open to new things and being a blessing. Well, today we're talking about being a helper and being brave. So I'm wondering, Lawson, are there things that you feel really make a person a good helper or a brave helper?
By doing something for somebody who needs help.
Yeah. And maybe paying attention. You know, I noticed that the women really noticed that Moses needed help. They paid attention. And then they were brave. How about you, Francis? What do you think about being a good helper and a brave person?
A brave person, even if he or she is afraid, you have to face your fear sometime.
Yeah.
Why not now?
Yeah, that's really well put. Thank you very much. I mean, these 3 women really made a huge difference in Moses' life. We think of him as the superhero, but actually, don't you think these 3 women were superheroes too, in the way that they helped each other and helped Moses? So, well, you're superheroes to me because you helped me today carrying that table and doing these incredible readings. So thank you so much. Thanks to both of you for being our helpers and brave women today. So I want to say thanks again to Lawson and Francis for being our amazing helpers today. And I just want to remind you that no matter how much somebody might seem like a superhero and that they may never need help, everybody always needs help. And sometimes the helpers aren't the ones that you notice all the time, but they make a huge difference. So being a superhero doesn't mean you don't need help. And being a helper makes you a superhero too. So what I'd like you to do is to start thinking, because Miss Christie's going to ask you more about this. Miss Christie's going to ask you to think about who are the helpers in your life and what made them a good helper. So that's just a little tip for what's coming up next. Thanks again for joining me this morning, and I'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.